Hello there. So what I want to do next is add some automation for these ground objects. I want to probably have a way that they read the tile map information and create themselves on the room start. So a ground tile would have like a horizontal tile, horizontal aligned object on top of it. Uh, Maybe that each tile would spawn an object of their own, or maybe I go the extra mile and make it so that it checks the neighboring tiles and defines the scale of the object based on that. Currently, I can just like manually place these. I haven't placed one here, so there's a hole. So looks like this currently. And yeah, and what I would also want them to have is some kind of scattering system so that they would spawn like grass and rocks and other kind of details and align it based on the angle of the asset itself. With grass, I would probably have to do like um, for these kind of slopes where grass would actually grow, kind of some kind of vertex transformation for those sprites so that the um, grass objects would form or deform with the ground slope. So they would actually grow vertically and not like perpendicular to the normal of the ground plane. I also have here, you can actually see I can have like multiple ground layers. So this one has like this kind of formation, and I can like drop down from there, climb back up like so. I'm using move and collide for the horizontal movement. I probably will make my own at some point. I'm not super happy how this works. It's okay, like out of the box, you get your game up and running and you can do things, but I'm not sure how to fine tune it to suit my needs. It has like this jittering thing going on, probably something that I'm doing wrong, but whatever. Uh, I will probably make my own that will check like the slope and let you move in various kind of ways depending on the slope. So that's pretty neat. What else? What else? Yeah, the ground slopes here you can actually see this is closer to the actual collision that I'm using for these slopes or tiles. Here you can see that the visual tile has like some or can have like details that are not following the form of the actual collision. At room start, I'm switching the collision mask that is being used for this tile map to another more like simplified version because I don't want to have like this kind of bumpy ride when you're walking around. Yeah, and how actually this works is that depending on the depth that you're at in the level, so when you move in and out, it will switch from one tile set to or tile layer to another and use that as a collision. And when you pass the walk past the line, it will switch to that tile map instead that it's going to use for collisions. Because and the reason why I have to do it like so is because this is a 2D game with 3D camera, so the tiles are on top of each other, and the collision system doesn't care about depth really, at least move and collide doesn't. So these tiles, as you can see here, this is the front layer, and there's one behind it. So this is the view that the collision system is actually looking at. So if you're moving from here or here to here, and if I'm having those both layers used as a collision at the same time, you would float in the air when you are actually still walking on the front, on the layer that is on front. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So I want to do some kind of scattering system for the ground objects, and they would actually spawn based on the tiles in the level automatically. Maybe have like some helper objects and stuff like that to actually define like this, like certain part will have more grass and some parts will have more like rocks and whatever. Maybe further down the line that will come, something that I want to do. And yeah, I actually have like these sprite stacked objects that also have like depth collision on them on x-axis. On the depth you can still walk through them. I haven't really bothered to add that yet in there. And on y-axis you can actually jump on these. So if I, let's say, would fall on there, if I can actually hit the back of the chair, you can actually like stand up there if you want. Anyway, that's what's up. Let me actually turn on the other layers too. So the out of the box blur works here for the silhouette layer quite nicely. I'm just coming up with the actual like form or the way that I want to build like these levels, like what kind of layers I want to have and that kind of stuff. All right, that's it. Take care.